Yo, yo, yo.
Hello. We made it.
We made
Finally.
it. This is I'm gonna steal something from a favorite podcast of mine, Nolan. This is I'm Zach, that's Nolan. This is the Fantasy Lounge Grizzlies win edition. Okay.
That's right. Shout out the boys. Took down the dreaded Lakers.
Yeah, that's right. The GOAT, but we have our GOAT.
That's right. John did the too short thing right in front of LeBron, and they about got into it tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's what they get, man. It's fine. Yeah. Look, they about Memphis every year, but we want all the smoke. So
that's right.
That's awesome. All right, on to fantasy football things. As you saw in the intro video, this is the Fantasy Lounge. This is fantasy football content for fans by fans. So,
that's right.
We're here to talk some Week 10 bye week stuff. We've got some injury roundup stuff.
Shout out trade deadline.
Yeah, trade deadline, and then we've got as usually brings with the trade deadline, we've got some handcuff stuff to go over. So
that's right.
A lot going on, Nolan. A lot going on. We also had one of those. We're going to leave what happened yesterday out of our show. Okay,
that's right.
There was a relatively big. We're coming to you November 6th. There was a relatively big thing that happened yesterday. That's like a regular.
This is football show. We talk about football.
Football.
And sometimes Grizzlies.
Sometimes Grizzlies. That's right. That's right. It's our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah. Okay. Forget you guys.
And look, if y'all were ever wondering, y'all being our faithful viewership, if we lack dedication, let me tell you that we just spent like the last half hour just trying to get on this thing.
That's right. We were having some technical difficulties, but we made it. We're here. For the people. We did it.
Nolan, you drank so many beers while we were waiting.
I did. Okay. I'm a little far in right now.
Nah, it's fine.
It's all right. This is what happens when the later we start, the more I've had.
We're going to have to do like a midnight show one time just to see how far we can push it.
Hey, yo, buddy. Oh, I don't think Tyler will let us do that and put it on the channel. No. So
we do like see, Nolan, if we're gonna do that, we need to set up like a Halloween stream.
Hey, yo, like a watch party or something.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Get a bunch of dudes together and we can like just live cast over a game. That'd be fun.
Oh god, it would be an absolute travesty. Is what it would be.
Don't be negative. It would be excellent.
If we ever want to quit, we'll do it that way.
That's right. That's right.
We'll do it that way. All right, so first, let's just do weeks first, right?
What?
Do bye weeks? Do trade deadline?
Let's do let's do trade deadline first. Let's do trade deadline. It was one of the trade deadlines of all time. It wasn't really anything happening. I think there was 3 fantasy relevant trades.
Yeah, and they happened kind of early, and so it kind of set you up for like you thought it was going to be a big trade deadline, and then it was pretty.
It wasn't. Yeah, I woke up that morning and I saw a few, and I was like, "Oh, it's going to be a great day," and then nothing. It was a big dud, big old dud.
Yeah, the big trades happened like last week and the week before.
And there were big defensive trades. Like there were some significant like defensive player trades, but skill position fantasy relevant player is very small. I mean, you got Khalil Herbert went to the Bengals. Fine. Zach Moss is out for the year. He's going to be a handcuff. Whatever. Mike Williams to the Steelers. It's just fine. He's had nagging, lingering issues all year. Pickens is still going to be the fantasy relevant target there. I don't think it's going to affect him at all.
It's too late in the season for too old of in an offense that's not like explosive anyways. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just fine. He's a super deep target, and as we saw last week, Russ can't really hit the deep throws anymore. He doesn't have the arm to do it as much, it seemed like. So that's going to be fine. Pickens is going to get his stuff, and this is not going to be super crazy fantasy relevant.
He's just kind of like older Pickens, anyways. Like it's the same kind of like length and like catching style. Like it's not. They didn't give up anything for him, not really.
Yep.
But it's fine. I wouldn't roster him yet.
I wouldn't. And then the only other skill position trade was Jonathan Mingo to the Cowboys.
Oh my god! All right, let's
irrelevant.
Can we talk about that one for a second?
Sure. Let's hit me with it. What you got?
Let's talk about that. So did I read this right? Did they give up more to acquire Jonathan Mingo than they got to trade away Amari Cooper?
That's right.
How is that possible?
I don't know. They also paid more for him than the Jets paid to get Devontae, or the Bills traded to get Cooper, or what was the other one that I'm forgetting?
Yeah,
D-Hop. Also more than the Chiefs traded to get D-Hop. Like, they paid more for the most irrelevant player than the other three big wide receiver trades.
Yeah, and this guy like ranks dead last in most qualifying metrics in the NFL. Look, he has 121 yards on 12 receptions this year.
Yep.
He has 55 career receptions. So let's pull that up for a second.
So he got outplayed by two rookies this year. He was traded because Leggett came in and was looking good, and then they're super high on Coker. Like, he was a second-round pick that proceeded to then get outplayed by two receivers that were taken later than him in drafts. Well, Leggett was technically close enough. They were almost the same pick.
This guy averages 2 catches a game. It's worthless.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
2 catches on like 530 career yards. That's gross, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's.
So the Cowboys gave up, and then let's do this. Let's do the rest of the Cowboys receivers after CeeDee Lamb, so we can understand that all they did was add a guy like the guys they have. So after CeeDee, they've got Jalen Tolbert.
Shout out.
Devontae Turpin.
18th round underdog fantasy pick for me. I have so many Tolbert.
In 18th round, you're fine. Yeah. 4th round pick in real life.
That's right.
Egregious.
Hey man, cut that out.
Yeah, so Devontae Turpin, Ryan Flournoy, Jonathan Mingo, fifth right in.
Bunch of nobodies. You got Fergie and CeeDee.
Luke Schoonmaker will get more catches than he will.
Solid chance, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, Rico had 6 targets, 5 receptions last week.
Rico looked good.
He's not a bad receiving back.
No, he's fine. He's kind of heating up, to be honest. Like in a game with Atlanta where they needed to try and stick in there, he had 21 points out, like his best fantasy week of the year. You know, and it was his second best receiving week. Let me just take care of some of this caffeine. Stand by.
Yeah, I was about to say, my guy, you need some help over there. I know we're
too long.
A little later than normal. It's not that much later than normal.
Yeah. Well, I closed tonight instead of opening.
There.
I throw my whole bio calendar, you know, like everything's wrong in my ecosystem. Okay. But I did get, unrelated, Nolan, I did get my casters for my chair. And let me tell you, this dude is like scooting.
Moving all over the place.
And look, you'll only see that if you jump on. Oh, just saying. All right. So, yeah, not a big, I mean, you know, I'll give a shout out to the Saints traded Marshawn Lattimore. It sucks, but they need to. He's 28 with a really high cap hit. We're going to eat a really high cap hit from him next year as part of getting out of that $88 million. And then, you know, they got a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th for him. Like, that's fine. That's fine. What's going on here? We got Peeps.
I tried to get her attention. My door's still just wide open. I forgot to shut it. They'll be okay.
Oh, the other thing, we didn't even. You know what? Hold on. Let's before we're done with this miserable trade deadline. We look like 2 crazy guys on the show this time.
2 wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, like last week we were longer in both the tops and the bottoms, and here we are, which we're grizzling back in. It's okay. Well, I look like it. You're too far away. You can't see.
It's the first time I was clean shaven in 3 years.
I didn't ask you. What did Boy say?
Nah, he doesn't care.
He didn't care.
He doesn't care.
Kids are the worst.
Yeah, they're awful. That's all right.
It's all right. All right, let's do our bye weeks. This week, week 10, we've got Cleveland Browns. You've got Green Bay Packers,
Mm-hmm.
which they've kind of been up and down, but there's still at least 3 people that start off that offense.
More than
You got
3.
the Raiders. That's really only 2 guys. Okay, that's it. And then you got the Seahawks, which is a bunch of dudes.
Which ones on the Raiders are you talking about over there, buddy?
Brock Bowers, tight end 1.
Sure.
You gotta play
Yes.
him. And then Madison.
Hmm.
That's about it. Maybe Jacoby Myers.
I was about to say, are you sleeping on my boy again? Don't sleep on my
he's
boy.
Fine. He's fine, but
That's wide receiver 26 on the year, my guy. He scored 19 points last week. 17 points the week before that.
Yeah, he's like saving his season last
I swear to God, he's the most slept on wide receiver 2 in the whole league.
He might be the most slept on flex.
Yeah. Hey.
We're flex leagues.
Wide receiver 2. Don't talk to my guy like that.
But yeah, so that maybe okay. So all right, let's break that down. We'll start with the Raiders. They're in the middle. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nolan made a stand. Okay, and for that stand, we'll reward that with Raiders going first.
I will not let Jacoby Myers be slandered on this channel.
Jacoby Myers gone to bye week, but not forgotten. Okay.
I was really hoping he got traded at the fucking deadline to a good team.
No, if you're on the Raiders, you're not as lucky as Devontae Adams. Okay, you're being haunted. Like, and Josh and I were talking about this earlier this week. If you think about it, we'll get to the bye week second. I just wanted to, we were talking about this.
Distracted.
If you talk about like blue chip A+ players, they've really only got 2.
Yep.
They've got Max Crosby and Brock Bowers, and that's it. Like the rest of the whole roster, you start debating on, like it's kind of a meh situation. The whole team's kind of meh. So, anyways, Raiders, you're going to be missing Madison, Jacoby Myers, and Bowers. You will be missing Brock Bowers.
Okay? That's right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Now the tight ends are relevant again.
And we're in the midst of our second rookie greatest tight end of all time season.
Yep.
So, next, from the buddy.
I mean, sort of Njoku now that he's not hurt again. Chubb now that he's back, maybe a little, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and Njoku's tight end 16. Like he's fine, but he's not. You're not screaming at me about tight end 16.
Yeah.
They kind of came back down to earth too this week, right? Like they pulled off the unthinkable. They beat the Ravens. Kind of smashed.
You had your first game in with the new quarterback, Magic, and then you kind of go back down to earth. It's kind of what you expect when you bring in a backup quarterback like this.
Yeah, and they got smashed by a team that's really not that good. Like the Chargers are fine.
Chargers are coming along. They're a lot better than they were the first few weeks. Like that team is on just an incline. It feels like
it's the Harbaugh effect. Like they're going to be the most annoying kind of team to play at all times. It's like the Cardinals. Like the Cardinals kind of like box score or record says they kind of stink, but like they're like fighting people every time. Like it's never. It's one of those. I wouldn't bet if your team was playing the Cardinals or if your team was playing the Chargers because like. They're gonna annoy you the whole game, and they annoyed the hell out of the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, it took him a minute. New coach, new system. You got to figure it out. But I mean, Ladd's coming into his own too. Quentin Johnston, for all of you, said he was the biggest bust in the world. Dude proceeded to score 20 points again for the second time this year. So
his third double-digit week. So of the weeks he's played, he's 50% above. 50% of his weeks above double digits, 50% below. So that's not like it's still not like wide receiver 2 territory, but it's definitely flex territory.
It's also one of those you can't really predict when he's going to have that breakout week. So it's kind of a toss-up.
But dude, 118 yards on 4 catches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like has the big breakaway catch, and then that's pretty much it. So you can't really predict when something like that's going to happen. But
he wasn't making those catches last year.
That's right. If you time it right, if you pick the right week to put him in, then you can profit from it. He
definitely didn't catch any bombs last year. He dropped them every time.
Every one of them.
All right.
Who was next? Seahawks?
Yep, Seahawks. Yep.
I mean, you've got some solid fantasy players there you're going to be missing this week.
Kenneth
Walker, excellent. Geno, excellent. JSN, breakout game.
Yeah. Wide receiver 1 in week 9.
That's right. It might be the only when it happens, but because after bye week, it looks like I was reading a report today that DK is projected to come back
there you go.
next week after bye. So we'll see if
JSN
can keep it up with DK
his only
back.
2 touchdown game ever.
Yep.
So good for him. Yeah, so you're gonna be missing those guys. Last one's the Packers. It's Jordan Love, and again they're up and down. It's Jaden Reed, it's Josh Jacobs, and it's Tucker Kraft.
Sort of. I feel like he had those few like huge weeks, and it's kind of been ish.
Still sitting tight end 6.
Yeah.
Which is the tight end position. You know, it's very mercurial. Someone gets 2 touchdowns, they're going to go from like tight end 20 to tight end 10. You know.
Yeah, and then you've got the other guys that are you're gambling on if you put them in your lineup whether they're going to break out that week or not. So.
Yep. So usually with bye weeks, we talk to you guys about some people that we would have looked at on the waiver wires, but I think we're going to hit that a little bit when we get to the insurance plans, the insurance policies at the end. Mm-hmm. So we'll save that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to take a quick break here in the middle to talk about your team was saved by Bryce Young?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that, Nolan. I appreciate the lead into that. Look, okay, you can see it in the video. You've seen it on previous ones. I'm a very big Saints fan. They are tattooed on my body. And before last week, I was a Bryce Young hater like everybody else. Okay. And after his heroic game against the New Orleans Saints, I think in New Orleans, I have to quadruple check that. His efforts concluded with the Saints firing Dennis Allen. And that's awesome. Let's give him one of these, man. Like we will remember Bryce Young for saving us.
That's right.
For all time here.
What's the Spider-Man meme? Be careful, he's a hero.
Yeah, he's a hero, man. Like this guy. Let me tell you, this guy is a coach in the greatest football league on the planet Earth. He had his ideal situation where he brought in his veteran quarterback, and he lost 7 consecutive games.
That's right. He has now been fired twice with Derek Carr as his starting quarterback.
Isn't that gross? I think his win percentage was like 0.33 or something like that. It was horrible. He's up there with some guys that didn't get second chances. Yep. Okay. He got a second. Now, I'll say this. His second chance was a matter of circumstance where he was with the team for a long time, left to become the Oakland head coach, lost that, came back, led some really good – look, this guy, he will be a very good defensive coordinator in the NFL. He's a bad head coach.
Yep.
So, shout out Bryce Young, man. Saved us from that. Now, knowing the new guy.
Feel about – yep. Sorry.
Yeah. He's giving off real Dan Campbell vibes.
That's right.
Like he's in there. They had they already got shirts in there that say his name's Darren Rizzi. They've got Merry Rismus on the shirts and stuff. Oh, dude, they're there. So they had shaken the locker room up to be just kind of wherever you want, and he immediately walked back in and said, "No, position groups with position groups." They had practice. Derek Carr tweeted after practice that that's the most plays he's ran in a practice his entire life. Like he's gonna run them ragged until some of that stuff gets right. Like they're not gonna turn around and make the playoffs or anything like that. They are probably gonna mess around and lose themselves out of a top 5 pick. It happens.
That'll be all right.
When you're a Saints fan, this is how Saints operate. Okay.
You could be the Texans and wind up with CJ Stroud instead of Bryce Young. So sometimes it's all right.
As long as it's not an old lineman, I know it's necessary. It's just not sexy, man. Like take Travis Hunter or take a receiver or a quarterback or take Ashton Genty. That mock draft we were looking at today.
Take Shadur Sanders?
Yeah, maybe. The mock draft we were looking at, dude, Genty didn't go until like the 10. Later, like 20s.
Are you sure? I thought he was 10th in that mock. How?
No.
Also, who the hell's putting mocks out this early? Get out of here.
No. If you can
get it. Oh, I love draft
Heisman rankings, you can get mock draft rankings. Okay?
Yeah.
Plus, did we sneak up on 50%? Hold on, we're week.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, hey, halfway season mark. Shout out.
We made it.
We did it.
We made it.
Well, last week, I guess, but still close enough.
Yeah, close enough. So, okay. But yeah, shout out. Love it. Very excited. We're more excited about a new coach than we are like draft picks.
Yep.
And it was sad because we were like, yeah, man, Dennis Allen might be that guy. He's not. He was horrible.
He's not.
So
isn't Rizzy the special teams guy anyways?
He's been.
I'm pretty sure he was the special teams coordinator.
It's one of those. Yes, it's been.
I feel like it's always the special teams coordinator gets the interim job.
It is because it's the kind of coach that's in on every meeting. Like they're in on offense and defense. They're in on all that stuff.
Also, the OC and DC probably also get fired. So
well,
they're all that's left.
Do you know who else was a special teams coordinator that went straight to head coach?
Tell me.
John Harbaugh. Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
Would be so lucky.
Dude, I'd poo my pants. Okay. I'll wear a Ravens shirt on a show if that's what it takes for him to start winning games. I don't care. Does he have a brother that looks just like him? Okay. I need to find out. All right. Let's do some injury news. Some people
will they want those?
Yeah. So I'll lead off because I know you prepared a little. I got to do the big one. It's projected Christian McCaffrey is going to play football in Week 10.
That's right. Shout out. He was limited in practice, but he was at practice. They said he had no pain today, which I feel like probably leans toward he's playing.
He's old, bro. Like
he's fine. He's 29. It's all right. You're allowed to have
his knees are 50.
I sure as shit know I do.
His knees are 50.
Yeah, fucking for real. Also, Debo and Juwan Jennings also practiced.
Reinforcements.
Big reinforcements. It looks like their whole team's coming back together for Week 10.
They need them badly.
Yep.
They've been underachieving.
That's right. Some other big ones that people are coming back. They're on bye this week, but DK is projected to come back next week. Big get back from them. And then what else? Oh God, I can't read. Mike Evans, I saw the report, is their bye week is next week. So he's missing this week. Bye week is next week, and then he's projected to come back week after. So looking good. Mr. 1000 needs his yards.
That'll stink if he misses it.
Yeah, I'll be real fucking bummed. Speaking of the Bucks, basically their whole team didn't practice today. This is that time of year where veterans start to not practice some days. So you need to not freak out every time you see somebody not practicing.
Yeah.
Because I think it was all of them. It was like Baker, Rashad White. It was, did I write it down? No, I just wrote Bucks. Basically, the whole team didn't practice today because they played on Monday, and then you're getting old. It's mid-season. You take practices off sometimes.
Yeah, you just chill.
Yeah. And then I guess the last big one that I had in my notes, T. Higgins is doubtful again.
It's a short week.
Yeah, it's a short week for them. He'll probably come back full steam next week.
I'd be surprised if we see full logged practices, like full practice designations for him at all season.
Well, it's not even questionable anymore. They changed his injury designation to doubtful for Sunday. Okay. Fire up your Gesicki's. Week before trade deadline for most of your fantasy leagues. It's a good one to shoot for.
Yeah.
Who are some other guys that you're probably kind of shooting for? People coming off injuries. Get your Mike Evans, get your Pacheco's, get your Nikos. See if you can get somebody cheap before they come back from injury.
Pray to God you can trade for Nico right now and be willing to pay for it.
Yeah. You're still going to have to pay for it, even though he's coming back off injury. But you won't be paying as much as you would have if he would have been healthy this whole time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if you've followed us all season, you don't draft injured players. But mid-season, they're coming back off injury. Maybe. Oh, that was my other one I was thinking of. Jonathan Brooks, full participant today. Speaking of rookies that you don't draft injured players, Jonathan Brooks is probably going to be baby fed. Here's the choo-choo plays here and there coming back. Personally, Chuba's been excellent.
Yeah, he's been great. So I don't think they're in any rush. They're not winning Super Bowls this year, and
No, he's not going to get a full workload. Definitely not. Anytime this year. Honestly, I probably would just let him sit the whole fucking year. You're not winning anything. So don't injure the guy you spent that much draft capital on.
I agree with that. Yep. Okay, no, let's talk about just a second. I didn't prepare a bunch of them, but I have a couple of guys. So it was another one of those weeks where, like, and you're going to have it, but it just keeps happening to, like, these top 10, top 15 guys. So we had a couple of guys that laid, like, goose egg equivalents, like where you played them and they did nothing. The top two that came to mind really quickly, and really three, I guess, were, of course, Olave with his second confirmed concussion in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He's going to see specialists. They might put him on IR. They might sit him for the rest of the season. You had A.J. Brown with a scary knee injury, although I think he avoided anything really bad. But you played him. Like, I know y'all put everybody start. He probably had like a 90% start ratio. Mm-hmm. And those 10% of those psycho leagues for like 4 teams or 8 teams. Puka decided to squall. Puka tried to get somebody's hands. Okay.
Stop punching people wearing helmets. It's so dumb.
Speaking of punching, you saw the Miami guy this past weekend, right? He came in to punch the ball and full on horizontally with his body punch someone in the helmet. He didn't even get close, dude. He was like a foot and a half from the football.
It was a fake peanut punch, but
yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah. So I actually kind of, for the people that last week weren't prepared to play Puka because he wasn't until day of supposed to play and you missed it, and then played him this week, excited that he's going to play, and then got kicked out. I feel bad for all of you, man.
That's fantasy football right there. The second you're always a week behind and a week too early, or like I was that guy. I didn't play Puka last week, so reflexively I went, we got to put him right back in the lineup, and then he does something stupid like that.
And he does this. Is that the league that you lost to the guy that didn't play quarterback?
That's one of the leagues where I put Puka in and lost. Yeah, it was gross. Let me pull that up real quick so I can tell you what I got.
I cannot believe that happened to you.
So Kyler Murray dropped me 4 points.
Yeah.
Drake London went out. Thank God he caught a touchdown before he went out because he only had 10 points. So he had 3. Jalen Waddle, -4 yards and a touchdown. Thank Christ. Xavier Worthy, -1 points. Joe Flacco in Superflex with 4 points. Like, literally, my kicker, Keimi Fairbairn, scored more points than 1, 2, 3, 4 players on my roster that started.
Yeah, that's tough. Oh, wait, I thought you lost this game. You won it.
Did I win it?
Yeah, you must have had a stat correction. You ended up winning by 2.
No way. Let's go for the stat.
You didn't even think you won it.
No,
also,
dude, I just...
Shout out Chubba.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him. He saved you this week.
Yeah, well, he's fantastic. And also, thank God I didn't lose to a guy without a quarterback.
Yeah.
In a super flex league.
Oh, man.
He's got Jameis just sitting on a bench doing nothing.
His super flex player was Yusofis. He had 0 quarterbacks in his lineup.
Yeah.
Oh,
y'all ever got that player? Yeah. For those of you out there, y'all ever got that player in your league who you know is getting cut next season? It's this guy.
Yep, that's right. Won't be back.
Not this guy. Or sorry, this guy. Not him.
Me.
Not me. The guy that I played that didn't play quarterback.
I'm not winning anywhere this year, but at least I'm setting my lineups.
Yeah.
I think
you would have won against me.
Yeah, just barely though.
Yep.
Just barely.
Okay. Let's do.
That's about all I got. We talked about everything I had prepped.
Let's do insurances real quick. So
handcuffs.
Yeah, let's do that. So Nolan and I are very big advocates for not drafting handcuffs.
That's right.
Okay, drafting handcuffs is potentially losing people on your roster who could contribute at any time.
It's super silly. Also, because you don't know who's the handcuff and who's not.
Yeah. Chuba Hubbard's a really good example of that.
That's right.
Or Jordan Mason when Christian McCaffrey misses the first 10 weeks.
Yep. All the people that drafted Corum or Benson or Roshan, you drafted them higher in your drafts because you thought they were going to start eating into these starters like plays, but they didn't. DeAndre Swift's been excellent this year.
Yep.
Kyron's been Kyron all year. James Conner is fucking James Conner. Also,
Yeah.
speaking of DeMercado is on the field more than Benson anyways.
Yep.
So like drafting handcuffs is silly because you don't know who's the handcuff and you don't know whether they're gonna be relevant. And also you don't need them early on. You need to be getting those guys that could be starters instead of people that should be handcuffs in the draft.
Agreed.
But
so we wanted to take a second to tell you that about week 10, right around your trade deadline where rosters get locked and it is what it is when you should look to acquire your backups.
Yep.
Like this is the time to drop the Jerry Judys and
the Michael Wilsons,
the guys that you have had on your roster, but that you have not started probably all year, and go pick up your backups because we're locking in for a playoff run.
That's right. Now is when people are going to get hurt more often halfway through the season.
Right.
Running backs have been touching the ball 20, 30 times a game. They got some wear and tear on them.
That's right. So, look, lots of these, these guys. In week 10, you know who these backups are. But just if you've got Kyron, go get Blake Corum. If you've got Kenneth Walker, you better freaking try to find Charbonnet or trade for him, right? If you've got
Jacobs, go get Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got Derrick Henry, for the love of God,
get Justice Hill. If you've got Breece Hall, make sure you get Braylon Allen.
Oh, I saw a stat. So that's one of those elite ones. Please go get Braylon Allen and pray Breece gets hurt. Braylon Allen and the Jets. The Jets don't have a single unfavorable matchup the rest of the year as far as rushing defense to go. They play favorable, like in the green matchup defenses all year for the rest of the year. And all you need Braylon Allen is a Breece Hall rolled ankle or like a cramp.
Yep.
And this dude's going to get like potentially elite level looks. Okay. Like Jordan Mason, if you have McCaffrey, don't cut him. If you don't have McCaffrey, trade Jordan Mason to their owner.
That's right.
Okay. Because it's handcuff season. We're here. You don't draft them, but you do acquire them.
Yep.
Okay.
Halfway through the season, once your starting lineup kind of gets fleshed out, you've done your waivers already and got the guys you need. And now you have a little bit of extra room at the bottom of your lineup. Now you get the 1 or 2 handcuffs to sit them there.
Agreed. Yep. So just look, you don't want to be the guy or girl that's in week 14 or 15 that's starting the playoffs or right before the playoffs, and then you got a guy that gets hurt, and that's a critical spot on your roster, and you're done. You're done in the first round. Now you might be like many of those fantasy owners who has the perfect roster that's healthy and then they lay an egg.
Yeah, it must be.
That's okay. That's just fantasy football.
Yeah.
But don't do your season and your roster injustice and let somebody else acquire your backups.
Mm-hmm.
Go get them. I'm not saying stack all the handcuffs in the league. I'm saying if you've got running backs that have backups, go get them.
Mm-hmm.
Go get them.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's it. That's it for the Fantasy Lounge Grizzlies Win Edition,
that's
aka Insurance Week. So, look, we're excited for Week 10. We're excited. I'm excited to see what the Saints look like without Dennis Allen. We're excited to get to some of these guys. The Christian McCaffrey season debut.
Oof.
And let me tell you, by the way,
it's not confirmed, but God, let's hope so.
Yeah, and if he plays, he will get a full McCaffrey workload.
He will.
I don't think that they ease him in. And even if he's at 50%, understand that he'll be at 50% of the scoring opportunities. He won't be he is so critical to what they do. And as just a player, I'm just excited to get to those guys, so. All right. Well, look, I'm Zach. That's Nolan. This is the Fantasy Lounge. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the fantasysportsadvice.com. Come hang out. We'd love to have you on there. So if not, hang around at the end of this video. Check out the website. We'd love to have you on there. So see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to fantasysportsadvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to fantasysportsadvice.com today.